don't need to put the under wrap up. Remember on the wrist we went way up here? We don't need to do that. But we're going to come through, and I'm going to just poke through the thumb there. Okay, go hook. Usually it does that. Start again. Be the size of the thumb. And if that doesn't work, won't worry about it. Okay, so here we go. And we'll come through here. Poke, gently, poke. Okay, there we go. Oh, perfect. Okay. And this is all we need for under wrap. Now, if that doesn't work out, then just come through the underside or the other side of the webbing here with your under wrap, and it'll all work out fine. Okay, so it says what you're going to need here. I mentioned the spray, under wrap, your white tape, and then you're going to need a split roll. So the way you make a split roll is, so one of your rolls that you want to have is you just split it like this. Okay. And we do have 1-inch tape. I couldn't find any white tape, but we'll have 1-inch tape that sometimes is used. Depending on the size of the hand, you might want to go with 1 inch versus 3/4 of an inch, which is what happens when you split the white roll. Okay, so it says probably spray hand, place under wrap, place anchor strip on wrist. Did you notice anything about the tape in here?
Not anchor.
Could you be more descriptive? It has stitching. Yeah. Yes, so it's good quality tape, but it's because we got it cheaper, because you see the stitching, which is fine. So it still works pretty well, but you do see that there's stitching. Okay, so this is our anchor, and I would like 2 anchors. Generally speaking, 2 anchors. And so that's our first anchor. Now the next thing we're going to do is called a horseshoe. A horseshoe looks like this, right? This is like that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, let's say I'm going to here, anchor to anchor. And I'll model this again. I'm crimping the tape. And I'm going to come over to this side. That's our first horseshoe. Got it? Okay, model for me. Okay, thank you very much. Now this gets really tedious, especially if the hand's bigger. So then what you're going to do is you're going to connect these little strips here from one side of your horseshoe to the other side. And just drop your hand down a little bit lower for me. And we're going to go overlapping by half. So this is very tedious. You could use a full roll, but many of you will have small hands, and so this works fine. It's a little bit of a challenge in tearing tape. You're going overlap by half, and you're going from one side of your horseshoe to your other side. Just taking your time, you're not in a big hurry. And you're going to cover almost all the way up, and you're going to cover your knuckle. Okay, look at your knuckle. All right, you see that? If you can see it, then you didn't put enough tape there on your partner. Okay? So we're going to cover that because that's a very important joint that we want to cover and support. So that's good. Now we have to put another horseshoe. Okay, so that's pretty good. Then, this is the part that, no doubt you'll have some questions. This is called a figure 6, and I'll show you in a minute how you might practice this without wasting a lot of tape. But what you're going to do is, basically, we're going to start, let's say I'm going to start here on the wrist, with this half roll, and I'm going to come around, let's go around the wrist and say, come down a little lower for me. Okay, go once around the wrist. So I'm starting at the thumb and I'm going in the direction of, so I'm starting near the radius, which is the thumb, and I'm going in the direction of the ulna. I went once around. Then I'm going to go over across toward the pinky. I'm coming underneath the hand here, and I'm going to come across the joint that I just asked you to cover. I'm going to come all the way around the joint, and I'm going to completely encircle it, and then I'm going to come back down to the wrist, and then just turn it down. Okay? That's called a figure 6. Okay. Now, let me show you that again.
Could you do
Yes.
Can you?
We
You
can't see any of that.
anything.
I know. I'm going to turn. Okay. So let's see. Let's have you start here. So we're going to go around the wrist one time, and then we're going to come up across here. Actually, I think what I'll do is I'll make it easier. I'll just go across here. So we're going to come once around. We're going to come underneath the thumb, and we already have one there. I don't really need to press that again. And I'm going to come up to the wrist. So, I need to cut this piece because I actually was showing you the direction I was going to show. So, do you have any scissors? Did you guys have scissors anywhere? I have one. Okay, that's right. So let's come over here. Show it again. So I'm starting on the wrist, moving away toward the ulna, right? And back around. I'm going to come up around the thumb and bring it around and back down toward the wrist. Around and turn it. So let me just cut this other one off. Okay, so are you kind of following that? All right, so I'm going to show you how to do this so that you can practice this yourself. And then I would do, so I do a couple of these. Maybe, what did I say, 2 figure 8s or figure 6s or 3? 2 to 3. So just don't put too many on because it'll start to get tight. And his thumb is slightly turning blue. Let's compare it to the other one. So you can see it's a little, not too bad. But if you notice when you are doing the figure 8, if you pull the tape out, then it won't get so tight. Now, as opposed to using white tape, if we were rich, which sometimes we are, depending on the semester, we would prefer to use elastic tape for figure 6s. It's just a lot easier on them. It doesn't get too tight. Okay, let that stay. So, okay. Got it?
If you
Let me
were to
show
use,
something.
if you were to use the elastic tape, do you have to just anchor it with the white tape so that it holds its place?
Yes, you do everything just like I showed you, but the figure 6 is done with the elastic tape, and then you would do a white anchor over that, white lobster, okay? All right, so let me show you something that you might want to do is you can make a piece of tape, take a piece of tape like this, like 2 feet, 2.5 feet, and you put the sticky side in so it's not outside. Then you can, and I'm picking, the reason I did his left hand, because it's easier for me as if I was practicing on my own hand. So what I do is I take my hand and I bring it toward my body here, and I just drop so I'm going to start at the radius, go once around the wrist, and probably go around again, and then I'm going to come around the thumb, and then back to the wrist. So you can see that I made this nice little round, okay? So you can actually do this yourself. If you want to tape this, I don't want you to waste a lot of tape. You can do it with the tape, because that way it'll stick. You come around, so let's say you go around all the way once, and you're going to come over under the fat pad like this, around the thumb completely, and then back over toward the wrist. Okay? So you see that. So what you want to see in your end product is this sort of crossing over the proximal joint, over the knuckle that you don't want to see. Okay? So you get started, and the reason I just showed you it this way on his left side, because I am right side dominant, so if I'm practicing by myself, I'm actually doing my left hand. And then that way I can go up to my partner and do their left hand.